Hey everybody, it's Allison Sullivan with Stamp Crazy with Allison, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in New Westminster, BC in Canada. And I'm just going to wait for you guys to hop on, and I'm just going to get my other views up here so I can see you guys when you get on here, and I can see what you're saying, and all those fun things. So I'm just waiting for you guys to pop on. And yeah, there we are. Okay, I'm broadcasting. Pretty sure I've got sound. So I just have to wait for you guys to say hello. Someone's here. Hi, Diane. Hi, Jennifer. Hi, guys. Okay, I'm just going to go over. I forgot to set up my iPad, because that's another way that I can watch your comments easily. So let me just get that set up while we wait for everybody else to come, and we'll be good to go. And everything will be as it should be. And I think let's see if I've got sound. Yeah, got sound. All righty. Yes, it's a horrible rainy day, Jennifer, so it's a good day to stamp, right? I've got my sweatshirt on in my office because it's cold in my house. Anyway, it's not like spring, that's for sure. My neighbor, I think I told you guys this, my neighbor's daughter has beehives, which is awesome. But not yesterday, I think it was the day before, they swarmed. So what happens is, she said, they can swarm for different reasons, but lots of different reasons, but she thinks that when the hive gets too big, then they kind of break off and they fly and find a new home. Well, their new home was in my hedge. Hi, Wendy. So it's a little disconcerting, but it really wasn't, because it was fascinating to watch Maddie come over, and she puts on her whole bee suit and then she just shakes she's a box, a special bee box, and she just bangs the branches, and they all just fall out in a clump, because she said they're so full of honey, or I think it's honey, that they are happy, content little bees and tend not to get agitated. So it's sort of like me after dinner. I sit around and I'm just happy and content. Anyways, it was fascinating, but it reminded me that it's so cold here. These poor bees, it's May and it's so cold. Anyway, alrighty. So I think we've got most people here. So I'm excited about my card today. I hope you guys are too. So here is the suite that we're going to be using. I'm just going to wheel over here. And as you know, on some of you know, on the first Tuesday and the first and second Tuesday and the first and second Thursday of every month, my partner, we do classes together, Ange McKay and I. She does Tuesdays, I do Thursdays. We share a card using the products that we have chosen for our monthly class. And this month it's Sun Prints, and that's the suite that we're going to be using. And we show you a card that's not in the class, but hopefully will inspire you to want to join our class. So let me show you the products that are included in the registration fee. So for your $50, you're going to get half a package of DSP. So this is just a representation of the colors, because you're going to actually get a 6x12. Okay, so there's grays on one side, and then we've got all these beautiful blues, Pacific Point, Night of Navy, the brand new Starry Sky. It's just beautiful. Look at this piece. Isn't that pretty? Anyway, lovely. Love it. You're going to get a full roll of gray granite ribbon. I think this is 3/8 of an inch. Yeah. Okay, so you're going to get a whole roll of that, 10 yards, and you're going to get a whole package of the pearls. So that's your class, plus 6 cards, plus the PDF on how to make the cards, so you can make them again and again. And then you're also going to get a invitation to our exclusive Facebook group where we make the cards, and that's going to be on June the 4th. Okay, one of the other products that comes with Sweet but not the class, is the Fern 3D embossing folder, which is really pretty. I've got a piece that I messed up, but I'll show you it. But hopefully you can see the detail in that. Isn't that gorgeous? It's really, really a pretty embossing folder. Okay, so let me show you the stamps and the dies that we're going to be using today and that we're also going to be using on June the 4th, Saturday, June the 4th. Okay, so we've got our stamp set, Nature's Prints, which is great. Love it. And we've got coordinating dies. And some of the dies cut out the images. So we've got a die that cuts out the gecko. We've got a die that cuts out this kind of twig with flowers and leaves on it, and then our little fern here. It also cuts out this flower. And then the ones that I'm going to use today is we've got one that cuts out the words. And then these are the same. These three are the same, but they cut out a little leaf pattern. And then same with this one. Okay, so those are all included. This one has a beautiful wreath. And in the class, there are 2 cards that are using this wreath. And I just know you're going to love it. So Ange made 3 cards and I made 3. Hello, Leanne. Good morning. Good morning, Judy. Good morning, Cheryl. Did you use it yesterday? Oh, lucky you, Leanne. I know it's beautiful. Well, I hope today's card inspires you to want to create. So the first thing I want to do is let's gather some of our bits here. I'm going to be using the colors that are in the Designer Series paper. So we've got that gray granite. Let's give that a little score here with our bone folder. That's a traditional North American sized card, A2 card. It's 8.5 by 5.5 and it's scored at 4 1/4. I've also just got some, these are really just scrap pieces that I need for what I'm doing. I've got a piece of basic white. I've cut this 3 3/4 by 5. And then I've got a mat that is 1/8 of an inch bigger. So 5 1/8 by 3 7/8, I guess that would be, right? And then I've also got a piece of the Designer Series paper. This is really just a scrap. You'll see what we're going to do with that in a minute. So let's start by creating the focal point of our card. I'm going to take the stamps. So I've got, let me just show you here. I'm going to be using this one here, and this one here, and this one here. And I'm also going to be using the words. Okay. A heartfelt thank you is what I'm going to use, actually. Sorry. All right. So the first thing I want to do is I'm going to be embossing. So I want to take my embossing buddy. If you don't have one, we've told you about a trick. You can use a Swiffer. You just want to remove all that oil that sticks to your fingers. I've got my Versamark pad, and I'm just going to stamp some of these images on here. So we've got this one here, and we've got our fern. And I just want to make sure my fern, it doesn't matter if it's not going exactly the right way, but I do like to have it kind of go this way. I think I stamped it upside down on my first card, but that's okay. That's my practice stuff, so I don't do that stuff with you guys. And let's just put this one up here. So I just want those 3 images stamped in the Versamark. And then I'm going to apply, get out of that way, I'm going to apply some white embossing powder. So let's do that. And when you add the embossing powder, that's when you can see where your images are. It's sort of like when you're a kid in the magic books, you know how we used to color and then the image would appear. Now, you don't know if you can see this, but I've pressed too hard on that. What I would do is probably trim that off a little bit, but I didn't see that. So I'm just going to take my embossing buddy and I'm going to just very carefully, poor embossing buddy is near the end of its life. I don't know what I'm going to do when it's over, because I guess I'll have to switch to my Swiffer, my advice that I gave you about Swiffers. Okay, put all that back in that container and we can get that out of the way. All right, we're going to heat set that.
Oh, hi, Roseanne. Okay, oops, I just want to make sure. Yeah, that's okay. So we're just going to let that heat up and get that melted. So we've got white on white here. It's actually a lot easier than I thought to see the white on white. You know, sometimes you think, oh, how am I going to see that when it starts turning? But it actually gets to be quite a bright white. Okay. I'm super excited about the cards that we've actually got for the class. The cards that Ange and I have been sharing have been nice, but the cards in our class are superior. Like, you're going to love it. Okay. I think that's good. Just want to give it a little turn to make sure that you've got that all melted. And I think that's pretty good. Okay. Now I need a big piece of scrap paper. So I'm going to just bring in, there we go. I'm going to just bring in a grid sheet. This was our Christmas grid sheet, which is kind of nice. And I'm going to add some color to this. Oh, I just want to see something, you guys. Sorry. I don't know if I cooked that. I brought it back under the light, and I don't think that quite got embossed enough. And what would happen is it would just rub off. And that would be a mess. All right, there we go. So hopefully you can see. I don't know if you can, but you will in a minute because it's going to be like magic. We're going to take a blending brush. And we're going to take the Starry Sky ink. Okay. I just want to make sure that I'm in this. Here we go. Move this down a tit. Here we go. Got my camera down quite low today, or towards me. So I'm going to load up my little brush, but if I went on that, it would be kind of strong. So I want to just kind of rub off on the paper, okay? So that when I come onto this, I'm just coming on very gently like so. And just like I was saying earlier, like when we were kids and we had those magic coloring books. Did anyone else have those? Or am I dating myself? I might be dating myself. But you could, the page looked like there was nothing on it, and then you would color over it, and then the images would pop off. Right? So you can see how we're doing this. And you can decide when you want to stop, like how much color you have. I'm just going to add a titch more. And I think I might actually purposely add darker colors in certain areas of my piece. I'm not trying to get it to look like a piece of Starry Sky cardstock, because if that was my purpose, I would have just used that. Okay, so that's the first step. Okay, now you're going to take a paper towel and you are going to rub over top, and look what happens. Can you see that? Can you see that color just pop off of that? Isn't that great? I love this technique. It's called Emboss Resist because where you've embossed, it will resist the ink, but you will have to go in and just buff it up just to rub the ink off. Okay, so that's the first part we're going to deal with. And we can set this aside. Hi, Trisha. I'm dating both of us. You had those coloring books too, right? Like there was nothing on the page, and then sometimes you would use like paint and water and it would appear. Sometimes you would use like a special marker that came with it. Yeah, it's fun. All right, let's do some die cutting here. So let's bring in our baby boss that we love so much. And what I'm going to do, actually, I want to show you this before I bring this in. I'm going to take my piece of DSP and I'm going to take the label, but I only want to cut this off. I want to cut a shape in the bottom. And the way you do that is you position that on your piece near the bottom. Actually, for the purpose of our little demo today, let me just anchor that. Okay, there we go. And then I'm going to put this plate over top. But when I run it through the machine, I don't want to run it past here. I'm just going to run it to there, and it's going to cut just that. So you'll see what I mean. So we'll get our Baby Boss. We've got our machine. We're going to put that in, and we have to make sure it's straight. This does have to be straight. Okay, and then we're going to run it through. Okay, I haven't got my plates lined up. So I'm going to run it through, and you're going to hear it catch and click. You know that familiar sound. So let's wait for that. Can you hear that? Okay, that's really all I want to do. I'm going to stop. So you see that I'm not running it through, right? And I'm going to go back off. And then let me make sure that I've got that. Okay, I just have to do a little bit more. You know, I did this morning in prepping for my card, and of course it worked beautifully, right? And when I'm doing it in front of you guys, it's not. Okay, that should be good. So I really have only, as you can see here, if I take this off, look what happens. You end up with this design, but it hasn't cut the top part. So you've just got this bottom part design. Let me grab a piece of blue so you can see. Can you see that? All right. So I'm going to set that aside for a sec. Now I also want some little pieces that I want to use. So I've got some vellum, and I've got my, let's grab one of these. So I'm going to do that. And since I'm running this through, I might not use these pieces, but I sometimes, if I'm only wanting one or two pieces, I'll run them all through. And that way I've got extras for another card. So let's do that. So that's out of the vellum. Line that up, run that through. Okay. Oop. Pop those out in a minute. And now we want to do the same thing with a piece of the, actually, I don't want the starry, I want the gray granite. So we're just going to use the gray granite. And like I said, if I'm making a pass through the machine anyway, I might as well get as many bits for future projects. Okay, here we go. All right. Of course, put those on the magnetic little plate that I keep beside me when I'm working. Anybody else come on? Oh, hi, Marilyn. Yeah, hi, Mern. Oh, I'm glad. See, they were kind of fun. And as Diane says, it was magic to us, because it really was magic. But now we can do our own magic tricks with our own embossing and emboss resist, which is similar. Can't see it till you go over it. All right, got all those bits out. I want to have my sentiment, so let's do that. We've got, okay, and my poor little embossing buddy. Now I'm using the Starry Sky. Okay, first the mark, like we did before. And we're going to do a heartfelt thank you. And we're getting good at this embossing, aren't we? Gonna dump that on. Dump it off. Give it a little flick. And I don't like that little thing at the top there, so I'm just going to rub it with my embossing buddy. There we go. And put all that back in. Okay. And let's heat set that. I'm still amazed by embossing. Are you guys? Was it one of the first things that you did when you started stamping? It was one of the first things I did, and I have to say, it just It was a wow. And it's still a wow. Like, it's still a wow. And if you ever stamp with someone who's never stamped before, it's 20 years later, it's still a wow for them and for me. So it's kind of fun. Okay, so there we go. And we need our label that we're going to use. I'm just going to line that up. Hopefully it's straight. Tape that down. I can't wait till the magnetic plate is released for the mini. We've got the magnetic plate for the big one, and it's fantastic. I've shown it to you over the last couple of videos. It's absolutely fantastic. It works if you've got one of the machines that we used to carry, the Big Shot. It works in it too. All the plates are interchangeable. Okay, so there's our heartfelt thank you. All right, so now we have to put this together. I want to grab my little mini cutter because this is too wide. I actually want to cut it off at that little edge. I just want it to go straight. So I want to cut both of those extra little bits off. There we go. And I also want it to be shorter. So let's measure my card that I haven't shown you yet because I don't want to spoil the surprise. So let's see here. We want it to be 3 inches. All right. So I'm going to put that in here at 3 inches. So now we've got this unique little label. Okay. Let's start assembling. Let's put our embossed piece. I was having to use my glue today with the big end. And boy, you guys, it was kind of ugly. I might have to do it again because for some reason it didn't want to come out of my little one. Nope, I think maybe I'm just done. Let's grab a new one. I did have it come out like squirting like a little whale spout. It was just bloop. Blow hole, I guess that would be. And when these are new, you should be careful with the glue, unlike I was. And remember, we're just going to have this small layer that is just 1/8 of an inch bigger. Okay. And we might as well go ahead and glue this to our card front. Is that pretty? So we got our gray granite, we've got our starry sky. So pretty. Yeah, it is, Leanne. We tend to leave embossing, I think, for Christmas for some reason, like the golds and the silvers, but I've been using it more and more. Here's our little label. I just want that. I'm going to glue that down. Lining it up with the top of the stamped piece. Okay, so there we go. Now here's our label. Remember when we did this? So on the back of that, I want to add some of these pieces that we cut. So let's grab a gray one. There we go. And then let's grab a vellum. Okay. And then we could just stick this little gray guy in like so. Okay. I want that one actually to be on the other side of the vellum. There we go. Okay. Now I'm going to use a very, very special product called Scotch tape and glue that down. Just find that the easiest way to handle it. Okay. It's a little bit lower than I want. Oh, there we go. Okay, let's trim that little Scotch tape. There we go. Okay. I'm starting to see it come alive. Where is my ribbon? Let's grab, this is the ribbon that we're going to be using in our class. And again, I'm just going to lay it across and I'm going to make sure that there we go. I'm just going to crisscross it quite a few times. Okay, let's bring this down a little bit further. My camera's up is lower than it normally is on my workspace. That's what I'm meaning it gets usually further away from me. Okay, so let's do that. And again, very scientific. Let's grab a piece of Scotch tape to hold that in place. Find that the easiest. You could use glue dots on the back too if you really wanted to, but I don't find it that helpful, really. I find that just tape is good. Okay, now I want to put some, I used to call them, or my son used to call them poppy uppies. We're going to put some Stampin' Dimensionals. When he was like a kid, I've been doing this a long time. So he would say, where's those poppy uppies? Okay. My friend Patsy Wagner, who, if you live in the United States, check out stampstodiefor.com. She'd be happy to help you with any of your Stampin' Up! Needs. She will put them on everything. Okay, so can you see how this edge mimics the edge of, when we cut that out earlier? And that's what I was going for. So I'm just going to plop that down. And we need to add some bling. So let's bring in our pearls, because that's what we're also going to be using. So let's grab a pearl, put one there, and then I'm going to grab a little one, put it here. So just a little bit different than we normally would do. So there you go. That's the card. I'm going to just lower this a titch. Okay, there we go. So you can see it a little bit better. What do you think? Isn't that fun? Really like that. And then let me show you some of the other cards that we made. Oh, Trisha, you're when you crisscross, did you see what I did though? With that, is that more helpful? So you just go hold it, grab your Scotch tape, put it on. And you could even have your Scotch tape ready to go on the side of your table and just grab it and stick it down. So hopefully that was a tip that you can use. So one of our other cards that I made earlier in the week was the Starburst. So using the same products, but we've really focused on the Designer Series paper. And then we've got this one that I made last week. So this is one of those hinge cards, which is really fun. So these are actually the cards to hopefully get you excited about this suite of products, get you excited about coming to our class on June the 4th. And then in addition to that, as if that isn't exciting enough, because you can really get excited, we are each offering us a class on the Sunday. So my class features, let me grab it, Hues of Happiness, in this Of Happiness Abounds stamp set with the dies. Isn't this gorgeous? It is the one that is on the front cover. I'll just grab this, of the catalog. That's how much it's loved. Okay, so that's the products on the front of the catalog. Have a look at those. And let's look at the Designer Series paper, because it kind of is the star of the show. We've got lots and lots of colors. That's another thing I really love about it, is that there really is unlimited colors that you can use, from purples, blues, through yellows and pinks. Okay, and each, you got the double sides, so you got lots to play with. Gorgeous. And I showed you on the card that I made the other day, let me grab it. I showed you how you can cut out these flowers using the dies. So that was the card that I made on, oh my gosh, I don't even know what day it is today. When did I make that? Maybe I made it yesterday. I can't remember. Anyway, here's a couple of more cards that I made using this fantastic suite. And that's my class on Sunday. And it will consist of 4 cards. It's $40, but included is the Happiness Abound stamp set, which is over $40 when you add shipping and taxes. So you're getting the class for free. And we've given you a special deal if you want to buy the dies that go with it. We're giving those at a discount. Now, Ange's class is, I've seen her cards, and when I know that, we use the word, oh, adorable. And I'm telling you, you guys, she is so talented, especially at sets that are so adorable like this one. Her cards for the class are really amazing. Okay, So here we go. The elephant parade. It's cute. I love the mouse. So her class, when I say her, I mean she designed this class, but we both make it available to our customers. So if you're my customer, you buy the class from me. If you're her customer, you buy either of the classes from her. It's $40. It comes with the stamp set. And again, we have a special with if you want to add the dies. Okay. So hopefully that answers questions. All the links are in the post from today. So let me bring this down. There we go. I'm making sounds like Ganj now. Not as good as her. Hi, Connie. Oh, and you got your order, Diane? Excellent. So you're all ready to go. Yes, I'm so glad that all of these sets have dies, but the little elephants are so cute. So I hope we're going to see some of you. I know we're going to see Diane for sure. I'm just flipping back through. Okay, I think I've got everybody. So let me scoot back over here. And there we go. So here I am. All righty. I think we've got everybody's comments. And thanks, Cookie. Yeah, it's a really easy set to design with. And actually, I wanted to show you one thing. Let me show you something. Do you ever get stuck and you think, oh, I can't think of anything I want to make? I sometimes, when that happens to me, I actually go to the catalog and I have a look. And I'm going to just show you. I have a look at what the concept artists have done. So here is what they have done. So I don't know if you can see it because it's very shiny, the paper. But if you go to page 90, I took this card here and I took this card here and I combined them and made this card. Okay. And then I added a few more things just to change it up. But sometimes if you're stuck and you go to an artist that's already, they've already done their thing with the Stampin' Up! Artists, it can really inspire you. Especially if you think you've lost your mojo. It's not lost, it's just hidden. Anyway, thanks, Trisha. I really appreciate you guys coming. So I think that's it for today. So this is Thursday, right? Yeah. So I will see you again on Sunday at 10 a.m. Pacific time. So I'll see you then. Have a great evening. And I hope you get some stamping done this weekend. And I sure hope the weather improves for the south coast of Vancouver because it's pretty grim. Thanks, Diane. Thanks, Jennifer. Okay.